Hi guys, welcome to our next lesson for math. It goes right along with what we've been doing the rest of the week. I'm combining two lessons today though because they go hand in hand. So I'm just going to give you some examples of both of those and let you practice. So our lesson 3 objective is I can add multiples of 100 and some tens within 1,000. And our lesson 4 objective is I can subtract multiples of 100 and some tens within 1,000. So as you can see, they are closely related. One is just adding and one is just subtracting. So that's kind of why I put the two lessons together. So we are on our way to get started for today's lesson. So I just have some practice problems here, and if you notice, I don't have a specific way for you to solve it. If you can do it mentally, great. If not, you can use the arrow way. There's the place value chart. So you choose whichever you would like to do. So for the first one, 380 plus 200, I would just simply do 380, and I'm going to choose the arrow way, and I would just go 200. So I know that 380 plus 200, I'm only looking at my hundreds, so that's the only thing that will change. So I know that 300 plus 200 is 500, so I know it is 580. Okay? The next one, we have 380 plus 220. So as you can see, all of these relate. They're just going to look a little different when we add them. So I have 380 plus, I'm just going to go on and make a jump of 200 because I know this is a 100 plus a 100. And up here we said it was 580, so I can bring that down. But this one's a little different. I have 20 left over. So you can either break that 20 into two tens, or you can make a jump of plus 20, whichever one you feel the most comfortable with. So I just went on and made a jump of plus 20, and I know that is 600 because it gives me a new 100. And our last one, I have 380, and we're still at 230, so I'm going to make a jump of 200. So again, I have 580, and I have 30 here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a jump of plus 20 because that gets me to a beautiful number here of 600. But I still have 10 left over because I'm only at 20. So I'm going to do 600 plus 10 more to give me 610. So this is basically what we've been doing all week. It's just some different numbers in there. And kind of, I'm using, instead of breaking down the 100s each time, I'm kind of putting them together. Okay? A new skill that comes with this lesson is something that looks like this. So 34 tens plus 20 tens equals how many tens? So you would still do this the same way. So I'm going to bring down my 34, and I'm going to add plus 20 because I need 20 tens. Now you could have done plus 10 and plus 10. That's fine too. Okay, I'm just doing 34 plus 20. But if you needed to break down the tens, that's okay. So I know that I have 54 tens. So I know that my answer is 54 tens. Okay? And it says the value. That means how much is 54 tens equal to? So I'm going to show you how to do this one, and then we're going to come back and see if we can figure out what 54 tens is equal to. So your next question says, what is the value of 62 tens? Well, if you noticed, I went on and filled in my place value chart because I thought it might take a while to draw 62 tens. So I just made 6 groups of 10 here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 10, and I have 2 left over. So if you remember, what happens when we have 10 tens? That's right, they become a 100. So all these groups that have 10 tens, I'm going to move over. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 groups of 10 tens. So they now move over here. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 hundreds, and I have 2 tens left because they weren't in the bundle of my tens. So I'm going to bring my 2 tens down, and there are no ones. So the value of 62 tens is actually 620. So now let's try to figure out the value of 54 tens. So we can draw a place value chart if we need to. So I have hundreds, tens, and ones, and I'm just going to quickly make 54 tens in my place value chart. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I have my 50 tens. Now I need to add my 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my next thing would be is to look at my tens and see if I could move any over to my hundreds. Can I move any over to my 100s, guys? Yes, because I have 10 tens here. So I'm going to move the groups that are in tens over to my hundreds. So here's a group of 10. There's a group of 10. There's a group of 10. There's a group of 10. And there's a group of 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 groups of 10 that can move over here. So that means I have 5 hundreds. So I have 5 hundreds, but I have tens left over because they weren't grouped in bundles of 10. So I have to bring those down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0 ones. So 54 tens is actually 540. Okay? So that's with addition. Now I'm going to show you some subtraction. And like I said, you can do mental math, you can use a place value chart, or you can use the arrow way. It's whatever fits your needs and whatever you like best. That's fine with me. So I'm at 860, but we're subtracting now. So be sure and pay attention to your sign in the middle. Don't get those messed up. Pay attention, because sometimes it's subtraction and sometimes it's addition now. So I have 860, and I have to subtract 850. So if you need to, you can subtract by 100 8 times. I'm just going to go on and subtract by 800 because I know I have 800s. Okay, so I know that 860 minus 800 is 60. Okay, so I've made my jump of 800. Now I have to make a jump of 50. Okay, so if you can say, hey, I know that 60 minus 50 equals blank, by all means do that. Okay, I'm just going to break the 50 into 5 tens. So I'm going to go 60 minus 10 is 50. 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 minus 10 is 30. And I've done 10, 20, 30 jumps, or 30 jumps of 10. And I need to do 50. Minus 10 is 20. One more minus 10 is 10. So I have my 800 that I've subtracted. Then I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I have my 850. And I ended on 10, so that means my answer is 10. Now, let's try a couple more. So I have 860 minus 570. So I'm just jumping into my hundreds and I'm not breaking them apart. If you need to break them apart, please do. Like in 570, you can make 5 jumps of minus 100. You do whatever is best for you. Okay? So I'm just going to make a jump of minus 500. So I know that 860 minus 500 is 360, because the only thing I'm changing is my hundreds. Okay? So I've made my jump of 500. Now I got to make a jump back of 70. So I'm just going to make 10 jumps of 7 back. But don't lose track. Remember that you have to keep track of how many times you jump back by 10. We need to jump back 70. So I'm going to go 360 minus 10 is 350. Minus 10 is 340. Minus 10 is 330. Minus 10 is 320. Minus 10 is 310. And I'm just going to go back and see how many times I've jumped. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I need to go to 70, and I'm at 50, so 2 more times. Minus 10 is 300. And 300 minus 10 more is 290. So I landed on 290, so I know my answer is 290, and I jumped back 500, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 to get my answer of 290. And if you're having trouble making the jump from 300 minus 10, draw your place value chart and do it that way. Okay? And then my last one is 860 minus 590. So I'm just going to bring 860 with my arrow. And I'm going to go on and make a jump of 500 because I know that means 500. So 860 minus 500 is 360, as we've seen above. But let's look here. This was 570 and this is 590. So there's only a little bit of difference. So I know that 360 minus 70 is 290 because I just did it here. Okay, so I'm using this problem to help guide me. So that means I only have to jump back. I'm at 70 and I need to go to 90. 2 more 10s. Okay, so I'm going to go minus 10, which is 280, and minus 10, which is 270. So now I have 70, 80, 90 that I jumped, 590, and my ending answer is 270. All right? So subtraction can be a little tricky. You kind of get your mind focused on adding and adding and adding. So just make sure you slow down a little and pay close attention to your subtraction. All right. And the last few we're going to do before it's time for you to practice is just this one again, like we did with addition, but we're subtracting. So we have 66 tens minus 38 tens. So I'm just going to make my 66 and I'm going to subtract 30 tens. Okay. I'm going to subtract 30 tens. So I'm going to say, okay, 60 minus 30 is 30, and then my ones stay the same. So I have 36 there. All right. But I have to make a jump back of 8. So I'm just going to make a jump back of, you can make a jump back of 8 if you know how to do that. I'm just going to make a jump back of 5 first, then 3 ones. Okay, so I know 36 minus 5 is 31. And then I have 3 more ones I have to subtract. So I'm just going to go minus 1, which is 30, minus 1, which is 29, minus 1, which is 28. So I have 28 tens. Okay? And if you don't know what the value of 28 tens is, we're getting ready to do it here in our place value chart. So all I did here is I just went on and made 28 tens into my place value chart. So I have a group of 2 tens and of 8. Okay, so this right here shows 28 tens. But let's go back to addition. When we have 10 tens, what does that mean? Yes, it means we can move them to the hundreds place. So how many groups of 10 do we have? We have 1, 2. So that means I'm going to move these 2 bundles to the hundreds. Okay? So now I have 200 because I got rid of these in the tens. They went over to the hundreds, but I still have some tens left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 tens and 0 ones. So I know the value of 28 tens is actually 280. Okay, so if you need to draw the place value chart to understand the value of one of these numbers, that's totally okay. All right, now it's time for you to practice. So I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a marker, whatever you have there. Doesn't matter to me, just as long as we're practicing and becoming mathematicians. So here's some problems that I want you to do. All right, so it's going to focus for a minute. After you have your paper and your pencil, I want you to pause the video and I want you to do each of these by yourself. Okay, then when you're all the way finished and you have your answers, I want you to unpause the video because I'm getting ready to show you the correct answers and show you my work. All right? Okay, you've got this, guys. I know you do. All right? Good luck. Okay, and we're back. So you have done the work yourself, and now we are checking our answers. So the first one was 700, and I just kind of guided my work there. I went back I added plus 100, and I broke my 40 into 4 tens. The second answer you should have gotten was 280. And what I did, I went back 400, but I did 100, 100, and 100, and 100 instead of making a big jump of 400. And then I went back 10, 20, 30, 40. And I've got my answer of 280. Then I did 62 plus 24 tens. So I did 72 and 82, but that's not just the answer. I had to add 4 ones, but 86 isn't just our answer, it's tens, 86 tens. So the value of 86 would be 860. And if you needed to, you could have drew out your place value chart in here and made 86 tens into your place value chart and then moved each 10 over to the hundreds. And then 93 tens minus 38 tens, I just counted back 10 3 times to get 30. And then I kind of broke it into till I got back to my 60 by ones, and then I just subtracted 5. But there's no wrong way or right way to get the answer as long as you can't come up with the same answer as me. You maybe did 93 minus 30, and then whatever you got minus 8, okay? And then the value of 55 tens is 550. So if you didn't know how to do the value is just where you make your place value chart. So hundreds, tens, and ones, and 550, or 55, 55 tens, you're just going to draw 55 tens in here. So that means you would have five groups of 10 with 5 left over. And then you would move your groups of 10 to the hundreds. Okay? All right, now I want you to try your exit ticket. I'm sure you will do great. Miss you guys and love you. Bye.